a multi-phase, multi-million-dollar renovation plan for Missouri State's aging McDonald Arena.
That proposal was discussed at this afternoon's Finance and Facilities Committee meeting at MSU. Connor Trett was there, and he joins us live from campus with the major changes that are under discussion. Connor?
Yeah, the plans to renovate this nearly century-old building on Missouri State University's campus was discussed this afternoon at the committee meeting. Now, after that meeting, I was able to speak with a couple of MSU administrators about the overall plan to fund and construct this multi-million-dollar project. The McDonald Arena on Missouri State University's campus is up for a large-scale renovation project to relocate the university's football operations. The project includes constructing a new 8,500-square-foot home football locker room, new weight room, and the reconnection of the game day tunnel linking the arena to Plaster Stadium. The proposal breaks the project into several phases, making it easier to secure funding and manage the renovation process.
A brand new, let's call it an end zone building, that might cost $50, $60, $70 million. We would have to go get all that funding immediately. This allows us to take it in smaller bites and be able to get moving on construction right away.
Once we have that first phase and people see the impact, what it has on not just the football program, but the entire campus, it's sort of like the trains left the station and people are hopping on board.
The project will be funded entirely by private donations. In the past several months, almost $6.5 million has been raised for phase one.
Knowing that McDonald Arena is going to be renovated, I think a lot of people want to see that structure maintain its history, but yet for another purpose as well.
Now, no official action was taken on that renovation plan tonight. However, the Board of Governors will meet tomorrow to either approve or deny moving forward on that resolution. On Missouri State University's campus in Springfield, Connor Trett, KY3 News.
Thank you.